Hey loves, and welcome to the podcast. This episode is another Wellness is Wealth special. Tamu and I are back on the mic together, which just brings me so much joy and makes me smile so much. My work wife and I back on the mic together to talk all things Wellness is Wealth. And to kind of update you on what we've been up to and where we are, and to really talk to you about the next Wellness is Wealth experience, because that is totally what we are planning, a series of beautiful experiences where we can come together and talk about money. So without further ado, let's just dive into the episode. All of the details for you to come join us on our next experience, taking place in September, is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you there. Sending you all the love. So, my loves, Wellness is Wealth is back. Wahoo! I am Nicola Ray Wickham, founder of A Life More Inspired. I'm a creative mentor. I help women take the ideas that are on their hearts and their minds and turn them into something real. It's all about dreaming and doing over on my corner of the internet.
Mm-hmm. My name is Tamu Thomas. I'm the founder of the 360 brand, commonly known as Live 360. And my role isn't as defined as Nicola's yet, because I'm resisting the title of coach, if I'm perfectly honest. But I would say that I'm a purveyor of joy, specializing in creating or assisting women who are in their late 30s and 40s create lives that feel more joyful, more fulfilling, and are not just characterized by achievements. And I do that in various means with my latest baby, my membership group, which I have to sing every time I say it because I absolutely love it. And I still pinch myself. I cannot believe I'm doing it. But we are here because Wellness is Wealth, our collaborative project, is coming back.
We need a drum roll here.
That was a thigh roll.
It's so exciting.
Absolutely. So
Wellness is Wealth, the first kind of experience of it happened in January. Mm-hmm. Feels like a very long time ago now, at the start of the year. We were at Thomson Reuters. We started in the financial district creating waves, didn't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We took the idea of self-care and wellness, and we don't mean bubble bath self-care, we mean like deep self-care and wellness being one of the key pillars in Wellth. And we were doing that in the financial district of London, of England, in a space where you wouldn't necessarily be hearing conversations about journaling and moving your body and affirmations and dealing with debt, as well as not holding on to wealth, because money is energy.
Exactly. Two women that look like us, rocking up
that look like
to Reuters, bringing an amazing group of women together to have real, deep, honest, open conversations about money that just don't happen.
Yeah. And one of the beautiful things, and, you know, I think we can be quite literal when we say women that look like us in more ways than one. One of the most powerful parts of our evening were two women who are from somewhere in Europe, who were not born in this country, saying they could relate to a lot of the narratives around being a child of immigrants or being an immigrant and that money story. And what was really beautiful to experience is that the money stories that were in existence in that space, whether they were coming from a place of, I have credit card debt that I need to manage, or coming from a space of, I've got this money sitting in an account, but I'm scared, that fear of money was an undercurrent throughout. Yeah. And what we would absolutely love to do with Wellness is Wealth is create a space where we can start to demystify and build a relationship.
That's what
money.
It's about. It's a relationship, isn't it? And what's key is, I think we're really good at doing is bringing together those like-minded women, those women that get it. And it's in your relationship with yourself, with the relationship with others, that we work on your relationship with money.
Absolutely. What was it that we heard the other day that was like, oh my goodness, yes, how you do one thing is how you do
everything. Yep.
And if you are, so something that I found that is quite a common experience, we have a number of people within our community that have witnessed their parents climbing up the social ladder. So perhaps started off as in a relatively working class space, and throughout their childhood saw their parents ascend into a more middle class space, but still hold on to working class beliefs around money. Or we have people who may have always been in a middle class environment, but were taught it was rude, it was not polite to have discussions about money. So it doesn't matter where on the scale you are, you're not maximizing what you have because of your beliefs. And if we look at it on the wellness side of things, we're not maximizing our wellness because of our beliefs, because we have been brought up in a society that says basically you work your ass off until you retire.
Yeah.
And that's not helped us thus far.
At all, yeah. And that's where the synergy really comes in, doesn't it? between the money piece and the wellness piece, and why they're one of the same.
Absolutely.
But maybe those listening haven't put the two and two together like that. Maybe it's not been presented in that kind of way. And when it is, it gives you not only the impetus to do something about it, but like a big fat permission slip to
Absolutely.
just sort the stuff out and realize how much better you can feel. Like you can drink all the green smoothies and turmeric lattes that you want, but actually if you haven't got this stuff sorted out, then they're not going to make that much difference. So
absolutely. If you think about something, so my background is social work, and one of the first things you learn, and I know that teachers learn this as well, is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. And I'm not saying that Maslow is the be-all and end-all, and I know that there were adaptations and additions and whatnot afterwards. But if you look at the basic premise that in order to self-actualize, there are foundational pieces of work that need to be done. If we do not have our money, self-care, wellness foundation sorted out, we're building on a very weak foundation. And what I have found to be true in my experience and people that I speak to about money, we are very good at ascending up to self-actualization, which is the top of the triangle of life, let's say, but we don't stay there because we haven't built the solid foundations on which to self-actualize. And that's that ability to self-actualize. I think we have now realized that we need to forget having a seat at the table. We need to create a new table. We need to create strong foundations for a new table. Heck, it might be some comfy buffets and a coffee table. I don't know. But we need to create something new with very strong foundations. And I think to a degree that starts with a money amnesty.
Yeah.
And what I see, or what I'm envisioning, what we are creating for Wellness is Wealth, is that there is a safe space for you to have this money amnesty. And it doesn't mean that you need to share the ins and outs of your financial story and cause yourself to have some massive, great, big vulnerability hangover.
Yeah.
You're in a safe space where you can have a discussion with like-minded people. We can all learn and grow together at this beautiful new table / system. You know how to slide that.
I know. and that's what it is. There's so much underlying fear going on with money, and also there's a lot of shame, and shame loves it when it thinks we're on our own. you're sitting there thinking you're the only person that is acting this way, has this situation, keeps doing these kind of reoccurring behaviors or what have you. And what we create is one of the most powerful things, but yet simple things, is to know that your story is other people's story as well. And that you aren't alone. And then we can track it back to money stories and kind of things like that. But just that knowledge that a lot of us are thinking, feeling similar ways. And
absolutely,
yeah, it's not just you. And you really aren't alone, because we're creating a table, literally creating a table.
So let's talk about the Supperclub.
The Supperclub. So we are putting on a Supperclub as the next Wellness is Wealth event. And what we've really thought about Wellness is Wealth and felt is that it's about experiences. It's about having people come in real life that you can see and hear from and hug and high five. And that's such an important part of it. And a Supperclub is such a natural extension on what we've already created, coming together around food, because food is life. I love to eat. And have conversations with like-minded women in a safe, honest, open space.
Because we have this notion that money, finance has to be serious. And we have conflated being serious with being boring. How are we going to nurture good relationships with our money if we see them as serious, weighty, and boring? You can carry really heavy shopping bags from the supermarket and feel depleted unpacking that shopping when you're going home. You could carry a rucksack with a picnic that is quite heavy on a beautiful hike with your friends, seeing the vista, experiencing new experiences, navigating a landscape that you're not certain of. But because you're doing it in a group, because the goal is to have fun at the end, that weight feels very different to the weight that you carry bringing your shopping bags home.
Can I just say, I love your analogies. I love them.
That's what happens when you grow up on 90s hip hop. You have metaphors upon metaphors.
Galore.
Galore. And also I think that that's one of the privileges of having a very animated, extended network. Like, if you've ever heard African people retelling stories, you get sound effect parables, the whole nine.
Oh, I love it.
But yes, just think about it. Think about it. How much deeper? So now that is one of the things that I loved about Wellness is Wealth at Thomson Reuters, because it was because it was flavoured with anecdotes. There was humour in there. We thought it was a light-hearted thing, and every once in a while, people were like, oh my goodness, this is really deep, actually. And one of the words that came up at the end was, the phrase was, that was confronting yet enriching.
Yep. Yeah. Because you can have two sides of the same coin.
Absolutely.
Pun. But it is.
Come on.
The money. Making it rain.
MC Nicola, come on.
I was about to try and drop a garage like.
Please,
no, I won't. No. I'll save that for the Supperclub.
Yes.
But that's it. You can have, we are wholehearted beings. And that's one of the things about us, is that when we come into something, we bring our whole hearts into it and don't shy away from the different sides. And when we're talking about money stuff, the most powerful way to talk about it is to bring that confronting but enriching. And that's what it needs for it to be, for us to stay in the room and get anything from it.
Yes.
This is a Supperclub. I mean, it's going to be amazing and lovely and deeply, you'll feel deeply connected to others and yourself, but it's also doing the work.
Yes.
In a really lovely way.
Yes.
Because just coming and having a meal is lovely.
Yeah.
But this isn't this. This is, so you can tick two boxes when you come along to this Supperclub.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what naturally happened, I don't know if it was sustained, was that people found people that they could check in with, which meant that that journey continued. This is not a what goes on in a supper club stays in a supper club. Obviously, it's a sacred space. So what is discussed in there is confidential and is limited to the people that are experiencing what we're experiencing together. However, we would really like you to take this home, which is why the venue that we're having it at, Kindred, is the perfect setting. So we started with the seriousness. We took it to the financial district of England. And then we realized as we began to talk, actually, real change starts at home. Mm-hmm. We're taking you home, guys.
We're taking it home. We're taking a home from home vibe. So although it won't be in my dining room, I wish Kindred was my dining room.
In the future.
In the future, yeah.
Manifesting.
After I've done this work.
Yes, with the action.
Exactly. But it is that environment where you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's
contained.
It's contained, yet you're there to be able to do the work. Yeah. And it's going to be an immersive experience. So alongside a gorgeous 3-course vegetarian meal, we're going to be working on your money mindset through exercises, conversation, and it's going to be fun as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's us. Come on. So there will be links in the show notes. If you are interested, don't delay. Spaces are super duper limited.
Super limited, yeah.
Because we strongly believe you can't do this work in a big factory style setting. We are going to be in an environment that feels homely. We genuinely want it to feel homely. It just so happens that everything we do feels homely. Even when we're in Reuters, it felt really homely. So if you are interested in coming, if you want to come, don't delay. Mm-hmm. Invest in yourself. Yeah. It will totally be worthy.
Mm-hmm. And I just have to add that so many of us believe that these kind of conversations about money and finances and things are for a certain kind of people in a certain kind of setting on a certain kind of table that maybe you felt that you didn't have the right to have a seat at, or maybe you've tried to get a seat at the table and you've not been able to. But just know that there's absolutely a seat for you. Like, it's been designed for you.
Absolutely.
Pull up your chair and sort out your relationship with money, which inevitably is a relationship with self mm-hmm. and life, mm-hmm. And do this work with us.
Keyword with.
And the timing of it is September, which means that it sets you up really well for the last quarter of the year, mm-hmm. but also looking into 2020 and what you want 2020 to be about and how you're going to bring that abundance into your life and stepping into that space. It's going to be
Can I add? Nicola just said final quarter leading you into 2020. I would just like to underline the 2020. It's a new decade. So what you are doing in the final quarter of this year, if you want to, can be the springboard for the next decade. And I don't say that in a way where I'm saying it to cause pressure or anxiety, but it's a new decade. This is an opportunity to look at what you have done, what you have experienced, how you have behaved thus far, scan, even within the limitations, even within the things we wish we had done better, known differently about, there is wonderful information in there. So this is an opportunity to have a look at some of that information, distance yourself from it so that it can become data. If you have connected with me somewhere in the digital space or in real life, you are likely to have heard me say, shit is fertilizer. We can have a look at that shit and see how it can become fertilizer for you to step into a new decade building something new. So not only are we building a new table for you to sit at with us, it's also giving you the opportunity to create a new table for yourself, because Nicola, something that you were saying to me after Wellness is Wealth was somebody that told you about going home and immediately having a conversation with their partner. Mm-hmm. So that discussion that started in the room we were in then became like a ripple effect.
Yeah. And that's the key thing, isn't it? Everything that we do isn't just it's the here and the now. It's the ripple effect into next year, into your relationships with your family and friends, into the whole of your life.
Yeah. And let me tell you what that inspired for me. It inspired conversations within my extended family, mum, sister, brother, about our family money and what we want to happen with our family legacy, and the fact that we don't want our family legacy to be something that's appreciated when people are dead and gone. Mm. We want it to be a living legacy, and we need to know what's what with the money that is within our family. That's not a conversation we have ever had before, and that's certainly not a conversation my mum had, for example, with her dad. It was when it was too late, and they then had to get power of attorney because he had dementia, and they were finding out things as they were going along. So that one event within my own, I didn't realize it was going to have that impact, but it has opened up a discussion about money within my family that I didn't even know we needed to have.
Amazing. And you know what, that gives me shivers, because it gets to the crux of what Wellness is Wealth is about. Like, we could have a whole conversation of the notion of wealth. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can think of wealth and think of it, oh, it's people out there flossing, it's this label, this car, this whatever. But actually, real wealth is legacy. Real wealth is feeling good within yourself, doing the actions that you want to do, living your life in the way that you want to. But that legacy, that's wealth.
That is wealth.
That's what we're building. We're building up to have these conversations and create this environment where we can all get that.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if any of this has ticked any box or raised any light bulbs, or you know where you need to be.
You need to take a seat, claim your space, and step into an abundant mindset. That's what we're going to be helping you to do. Yeah. And come and enjoy an evening of transformation.
Yeah.
And good food and good company.
Great company. And I will say great company with my entire chest, because whoever connects with us, they just bring it.
Yeah.
We just bring it. It is such a beautiful fusion, regardless of your background, socioeconomic status. When you have decided to say yes to yourself, and you have decided that you are going to appreciate the journey, possibly more than the destination, magic.
And that's the trust. I trust that this message from our hearts to whoever it lands on, when it connects with you, if for you, you're like, I need to be there, then you're the right person.
That's it. We connect on a soul
level. Hearing us. Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. I want to do it tomorrow.
I need to buy a new dress. No, let us have something to look forward to.
True.
Let us have something to look forward to. So the details are in the show notes. Click, click, click. Don't delay.
We haven't given them the date. Friday, the 20th of September. It's at Kindred, London, which is right by Hammersmith Station on the Piccadilly line. Super, super easy. And District, actually. Super easy to get to.
Gosh, all the lines. District, Circle, Hammersmith and City.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So it's really, really super duper easy to get to.
And it's a gorgeous venue.
Absolutely.
We'll put a link to the venue as well, so you can have a look. It really is.
Yeah.
An abundant venue.
I'm nodding. Okay, Nicola.
Yeah.
I think we've said all we need to say.
We have. We can't wait to see you there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Be well.